There's two different fights going on right now. Okay,
Whoa.
Meteor Strike takes out Kiri. Okay, Goku's fall. I don't. Transflect is caught in 4K. Maybe. Okay, a beat drop. And the visor when they already have 2 picks. Youthmeister's getting gunned down in the back.
Yeah, maybe they just called for EMP visor this fight. No, he should be fine.
Very alone.
Yeah, but like he had all the cooldown and like, how?
There he goes. Okay, traded out with the Sombra. 4v4 right now. HP Sec's deep. 3v4. Goku slept in the backline. He's dead. See ya. Jaggy is not gonna be able to escape, maybe? No, he dies.
They need to go for heaven.
Okay, Nordlogic gets a pick.
Okay.
I believe he just walked up and one-shot her, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He might stay with the primal. He might not. Jaggy's falling very low. Okay, nano onto the monkey. Nice lead from Strudel. Rock to the face. Strudel's gonna die for his actions.
Raj, just stay back.
No. The healing amplification with the break pack just goes too hard, and he lives. And Goku kills the Reaper. Okay, Youthmeister just power punch HP Sec to the spawn room.
Yeah, the thing is like Echo in Fox's comp is not really going well along with like rest of the team.
Ninja True very low. Will he die? Yes. Lone on the point, sleeps the hog. Goku gets a pick on there on a. Someone's got to touch. Baby Diva's the right person for the job. Okay, Jaggy's down. It's over. He's used on the side of the Foxes, and Ninja Drew counters with his own Ramel. Might take down the Sojourn or the Ana. Yeah, and it looks like fight win for the Foxes. What I'm noticing is Youthmeister doesn't Foxes, gets 1. They're trading pretty evenly right now. Tanks are in the middle of it. 2v3. And Ninja Drew does go down, so it's fight win for the imposters. Yeah, he doesn't even need to like go in, but he needs to distract someone.
Yeah, like he needs to like.
They break this with 2 picks though. Okay, they break it open. The Foxes are playing kind of a rush comp, but they're not exactly playing as a unit. And it looks like that's all of them down. They're gonna cap first point. Both Curios are used. The imposters are coming out ahead, it looks like. Yeah, Beat's used. Mayelta's also used. There's 2 different fights going on right now. Okay, Meteor Strike takes out Kiri. HP Sec's caught running away. Okay, Goku's fall. I don't. Transflect is caught in 4K. Maybe. Okay, a beat drop. And the visor when they already have 2 picks. Youthmeister's getting gunned down in the back.
Yeah, maybe they just called for EMP visor this fight. No, he should be fine.
Very alone.
Yeah, but like he had all the cooldown and like, how?
There he goes. Okay, traded out with the Sombra. 4v4 right now. HP Sec's deep. 3v4. Goku slept in the backline. He's dead. See ya. Jaggy is not gonna be able to escape, maybe? No, he dies.
They need to go for heaven.
Okay, Nordlogic gets a pick.
Okay.
I believe he just walked up and one-shot her, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He might stay with the primal. He might not. Jaggy's falling very low. Okay, nano onto the monkey. Nice lead from Strudel. Rock to the face. Strudel's gonna die for his actions.
Raj, just stay back.
No. The healing amplification with the break pack just goes too hard, and he lives. And Goku kills the Reaper. Okay, Youthmeister just power punch HP Sec to the spawn room.
Yeah, the thing is like Echo in Fox's comp is not really going well along with like rest of the team.
Ninja True very low. Will he die? Yes. Lone on the point, sleeps the hog. Cuckoo gets a pick on there on a... Someone's got to touch. Baby Diva's the right person for the job. Okay, Jaggy's
Whoa,
down.
that's
It's
a
over.
fourth kilo.
He's used on the side of the foxes, and Ninja Drew counters with his own Ramel. Might take down the Sojourn or the Ana. Yeah, and it looks like by one for the foxes. What I'm noticing is Meister doesn't foxes, gets one. They're trading pretty evenly right now. Tanks are in the middle of it. 2v3. And Ninja Drew does go down, so it's probably one for the imposters.
Oh, but
Yeah, he doesn't even need to like go in, but he needs to distract someone.
yeah, like he needs to like.
They break this with two picks though. Okay, they break it open. The Foxes are playing kind of a rush comp, but they're not exactly playing as a unit. And it looks like that's all of them down. They're gonna cap first point. Both Curios are used. The imposters are coming out ahead, it looks like. Yeah, Beat's used. Mayelta's also used. There's two different threats going on right now. Okay, Meteor Strike takes out Kiri. HP Sex caught running away. Okay, Goku's fall. I don't... Transflect is caught in 4K. Maybe... Okay, a beat drop. And the visor when they already have two picks. Youthmeister's getting gunned down in the back.
Yeah, maybe they just called for EMP visor despite... no, he should be fine.
Very alone.
Yeah, but like he had all the cooldown and like, but how?
There he goes. Okay, traded out with the Sombra. 4v4 right now. HP Sex deep. 3v4. Goku slept in the back line. He's dead. See ya. Jaggy is not gonna be able to escape, maybe? No, he dies.
They need to go. We're having.
Okay, Nordlogic gets a pick.
Okay.
I believe he just walked up and one-shot her, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
He might stay with the primal. He might not. Jaggy's falling very low. Okay, Nano onto the monkey. Nice lead from Strudel. Rock to the face. Strudel's gonna die for his actions.
Raj, just stay back.
No. The healing amplification with the break pack just goes too hard, and he lives. And Goku kills the Reaper. Okay, Meister just power punch HP Sec to the spawn room.
Yeah, the thing is like Echo in Fox's comp is not really going well along with like rest of the team.
Ninja Drew very low. Will he die? Yes. Lone on the point, sleeps the hog. Goku gets a pick on there on a... Someone's got to touch. Baby Diva's the right person for the job. Okay, Jaggy's down. It's over.
That's a 4 kilo.
He's used on the side of the foxes, and Ninja Drew counters with his own Ramel. Might take down the Sojourn or the Ana. Yeah, and it looks like by one for the foxes. What I'm noticing is Meister doesn't foxes, gets one. They're trading pretty evenly right now. Tanks are in the middle of it. 2v3. And Ninja Drew does go down, so it's probably one for the imposters.
Oh, but
yeah, he doesn't even need to like go in, but he needs to distract someone.
Yeah, like he needs to like.
They break this with two picks though. Okay, they break it open. The Foxes are playing kind of a rush comp, but they're not exactly playing as a unit. And it looks like that's all of them down. They're gonna cap first point. Both Curios are used. The imposters are coming out ahead, it looks like. Yeah, Beat's used. Mayelta's also used. There's two different threats going on right now. Okay, Meteor Strike takes out Kiri. HP Sex caught running away. Okay, Goku's fall. I don't... Transflect is caught in 4K. Maybe... Okay, a beat drop. And the visor when they already have two picks. Youthmeister's getting gunned down in the back.
Yeah, maybe they just called for EMP visor despite... no, he should be fine.
Very alone.
Yeah, but like he had all the cooldown and like, oh, but how?
There he goes. Okay, traded out with the Sombra. 4v4 right now. HP Sec's deep. 3v4.
So, but
Goku slept in the backline. He's dead. See ya. Jaggy is not gonna be able to escape. No, he dies.
they need to go for having.
Okay, Nordlogic
What?
gets a
How?
pick.
Okay.
I believe he just walked up and one-shot her, if I'm not mistaken. He might stay with the primal. He might not. Jaggy's falling very low. Okay, nano onto the monkey. Nice lead from Strudel. Rock to the face. Strudel's gonna die for his actions.
Raj, just stay back.
No. The healing amplification with the break pack.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to week 2 of Aurora Esports. Today we got another amazing match. We got the Chernobyl Chinchillas and the Inazuma. I'm War, one of your casters. I'm joined with Paninii as caster and production. Paninii, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. I've had a great day. Little hectic. I had to redo the entire overlays and everything for the stream, but we are gaming now. Going in here. First map is New Junk City. What are you expecting from these teams here?
Well, I'm going to start this off by saying this was one of the most debated predictions that we have had in, I think, ever this season of Aurora Esports. I think it's like exactly perfect because you changed your prediction last minute, Paninii.
Yeah, I did want to say this. I have not had a chance to go in because I was busy doing the production. I am changing my prediction. I now predict the Chinchillas to win this. I think this is going to be a really close game, though. A big thing I noticed last week for the Chinchillas is they played super well. They just had a lot of, like, really bad fights just not go their way. They were playing against the turrets, who actually looked pretty solid, too. The Inazuma look like are going to be without Purple Jesus. They do have Nathan. Nathan is a very capable ringer. But they are going to have to run, like, a kind of an awkward comp. They have Pneumonia on DPS, and they have Etc. on... They look showing Moira support here. Hopefully Paradox is able to show up and they can kind of go back to the comps they were playing last week. They did look pretty good too, even though they lost, but yeah, it should be a pretty close game here.
Yeah, they played the Raccoons, who definitely are considered one of the best teams in the league, but that's not what we're worried about right now. We're worried about this match. We got Booney versus Nathan, the tank battle, and Mikey's actually going to be the one to come up with a big wall and a big first pick onto ETC. Good job of zoning out this space, and Mikey finding the second on a Vickoff is really going to shut down the momentum unless Nathan comes in with a massive elimination onto Booney. This could open things up. They want to go in. They want to at least put some contestation on the point, but it's going to be the Chernobyl Chinchillas who are going to take this first cap and look to sustain.
Yeah, Booney played this Ramatra last week too, and I haven't seen Booney play a lot of Ramatra. He's kind of known for like Ryan, Doomfist, Zarya, but he's looked pretty good on the Ramatra, and it is actually a really good matchup here to the Junker Queen. He's coming in with an off angle right now, so this could be big.
Yeah, this is interesting. He's going to be directly in between the team. It's actually just going to get exploded right down. As that happens, though, Mikey finds the pick, and Riddle Dogs has already built up this window. So that's going to do a good job of really zoning off this space towards the high ground. But the point has flipped at this point in time. It's in the favor of the Inazuma. So the Chernobyl Chinchillas really need their tank back to take back the space. The Rampage comes straight in from Nathan, seeing exactly what damage he can find. And that's going to shut down Riddle, Mikey, Charbitron, and really spell disaster for the Chernobyl Chinchillas.
Yeah, Booney just getting picked early is really rough. With this brawl comp, it's really hard to even take engages without the tanks. You can kind of like sustain like they kind of did the first fight, but it's really hard to win fights, especially when Nathan has that big rampage there. Going into this next fight, we do see the classic Vickoff's cello guy, Nano Blade, like we saw a lot of last season. Charbitron does not have his beat yet, so that could be kind of rough going into the Nano Blade here.
They do have the Blizzard on the side of Mikey. It's not only gonna be able to catch Nathan, but that could be the pick they need. Now Vickoff's in with the blade, finds one, finds two, but Booney and Sly putting in some big work. Vikos finds 3. Is that going to be enough? Can him and Naga really shut down this point against the duo of Riddle Dog and Sly? They have the healing. It's all about, do they have the amount of time to sustain this fight? A bit of utility used already by Riddle Dog. It's just all going to be about, can they finally find the kill onto him? And yes, Vikos managed to get the shutdown, but Charvatron's already back. That's going to be the healing that Sly needs to sustain towards the point. Now it's just Naga dancing, weaving by himself. Gets picked off by Sly, but Nathan's back. That's the tank that they need, and ETC comes in with the Coalescence. That does finally shut down Sly, and Charvatron goes down as well. This point is flipping back and forth. Chernobyl Chinchillas, they're so close to taking this space, but they're not going to be able to get it. Nathan gets the shutdown, and that's going to clean it up. Point number 1, very contested over there, but the Inazuma are going to be able to take it.
Yeah, the Chinchillas, unfortunately, were just not able to find the kills before Etc. came back with that Coalescence. That's what really kept everyone alive, gave Nathan a chance to come back too, and then the kills just didn't come fast enough for the Chinchillas, which is very unfortunate. But they are coming into this next fight with quite a bit of ults, and they did force a lot from the Inazuma. They forced the Nano, the Blade, and the Coalescence here, so ult advantage definitely in the favor of the Chinchillas, but early point advantage from the Inazuma.
You gotta talk about this point advantage that they have. Sly's gonna be opening up a ton of space for the team, though. The god duo of Sly and Mikey really just shut down this entire team from the Inazuma, and they're gonna be able to cap this point. And it's great that they only used one ultimate to do that, because now even going into the next fight, when the Rampage is gonna be built up, when the Pulse Bomb's gonna be built up, they're still not at an ult disadvantage.
Yeah, Sly even last week had a very good Sojourn. Like, he looked really good on the Sojourn. He got a lot of like 3Ks in fights, so it's good to see that he's still kind of keeping up the pace here as we go into this next fight with the Romatra ult too on the side of the Chinchillas.
Yeah, Booney definitely looking to posture for a big one. Sees 4, but a beautiful wall is going to come out. Nathan's actually going to use that to try and go in, but instantly gets shut down by Riddle Dog. Maybe didn't get that calm that the Q was walled off from the rest of the team and didn't have the healing. But either way, the point's not going to flip either. Mikey in a little bit of a 1v1 on the point as the rest of the team's just fighting over the choke. But they're doing such a great job of sustaining, and now they're at 77, 78%. Naga can't go down here. He has to really just back out and play for the touch. Now the rest of the Inazuma are going to be back, though, and now fighting towards the point.
Yeah, it's already last fight for this point. Early pick on the Pneumonia here. Or not Pneumonia, it's Naga here. Ramatra ult is used, but the fight is already turning here. Or the point is already turned to the Chinchillas.
Yeah, and they're using that Rampage to just clean up the Inazuma towards the point. Now they're completely shut down, and you got to think after that, even with a farther point spawn, the Chernobyl Chinchillas just with this Brawl Comp are going to be able to speed to point a lot faster. So 1-1, ult favors now finally shifted over to the Inazuma. They've built up all the ults they used towards the first point, and it's all going to be on the back of this big Nano Blade that we look for from Vikos and Cello Guy. Vikos drafted Cello Guy for this reason, so we'll see how it comes into play.
Yeah, no beat from Charvatron. She used it right after the Rampage too.
Oh, and that's massive. The dash kill on both the supports, and Vikos finds Sly as well. The Blizzard was dropped on points, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't catch that Genji. They can just completely shut down the point. They had already capped it during that time, too. I think that was thanks to Naga or one of the supports down below. So that's going to be some great time already in the bank for the Inazuma.
Yeah, you kind of wish you had that Blizzard back, but at the same time, you're trading 2 ults to 1, so the ult advantage will shift into their favor. We do have the Coalescence and we have the Tracer Pulse Bomb here. If Sly can build this overclock, he's been getting a lot of value with these, so hopefully it's big.
But the Pulse Bomb is actually going to catch out Sly. That's a huge pick, denies the chance for Sly's ultimate there. The wall is going to come up from Mikey, though. It's going to zone off the Coalescence from Etc. But is that going to be enough? Yes, they're just going to be able to clean up these picks, and this should be a full cleanup on the point with the time that those staggers came in.
Yeah, but you're now really only looking at this Rampage. Charvatron should have the beat before the next fight, or at least in the middle of the next fight. So now we're back into the ult advantage being in the favor of the Chinchillas here. But we do have a match point technically here for the Inazuma. So hopefully for the Chinchillas, these ults that they're starting to build up here can kind of turn this into a fight win and force a .5 on Flashpoint here.
And that's sort of how these points have been going. The team that starts off with that out advantage is going to be able to carry it over. And this time, the Chinchillas are also going to start off with the point advantage. They have complete control here on the side of the point, but a good anti-nade from Cello Guy is going to force them to back up. Multiple ultimates going to be used through, though. Nathan with the Rampage catches 2. They're going to go for Booney here, but the sustain's going to be there thanks to the Riddle Dog window, and Sly's going to be there with the overclock as well, finding 2 heads. Riddle Dog finds the 3rd. They're finally going to cap out the point, and now it's just on ETC and Cello Guy to just get out. Try their best not to get staggered in this position, because any stagger is harmful at this point in time.
If I'm the Chinchillas, I love that fight right there. You did use 2 ultimates, the window and the overclock here, but those are relatively cheap ults compared to the Rampage that was used from Nathan. Now you have the Blizzard, the Beat, and the Ramatra ult, which are all very impactful ults. The Nano Blade is coming up, but they should be able to have the Beat to kind of counteract that here.
And you got to think Charbotron's just saving the Beat for this exact reason, but you also potentially have Naga on the flank, but it's actually going to be Booney coming in with that Annihilation to create the space for the team. Pulse Bomb comes out, but doesn't really catch anything. You can't really shut down Booney when he's in this Annihilation state, and they are just doing such a great job of cleaning up this point. Again, 1 ultimate used for 1 ultimate used, but the Annihilation just shuts down the point, and you got to think if you're the Inazuma, just might as well just posture for the last point at this point in time. You have the Nano Blade to carry on this last point. You have the advantage if you start there. It just sucks that it's going to have to go 2-5.
Yeah. Pneumonia does swap off the Tracer onto the Sojourn, I guess looking for a more poke style play here. But yeah, it is going to be really interesting to be able to close distance here, because you don't have this Lucio, and you're playing a little bit more poke. The Junker Fiend wants to play kind of in your face, so very interesting to see how this comp does here. We do have a lot of ults here, so hopefully the Inazuma are able to get a big Nano Blade here.
Oh, and this Blizzard, so good at really zoning out. Vikhov's actually going to be frozen in Blade. That's going to be a Nano and Blade wasted thanks to the positioning of the Blizzard out from Mikey, completely shutting down the progress of the Inazuma there. That's got to be such a blunder, such a costly blunder on the side of the Inazuma, because now 2 ultimates completely shut down by, I guess, 2, but at the same time, it's just so rough.
Yeah, very good beat there the first time, not having the beat for the Blade, but this one really able to shut it down, give enough time for Mikey to get this Blizzard to catch Vikhov's, and yeah, again, huge ult usage from the Chinchillas. Now early point advantage. We have Nathan building up to this Rampage, so that could be a really big opening here for the Inazuma.
If anybody can retake this point, it's going to be Nathan, who's built up this Rampage. They're trying to go through the window from Riddle Dog, seeing exactly what space they can find. Here comes the Rampage. It's only going to catch 2 people, and a good Immortality Field is going to keep the lives of Riddle and Mikey in the palm of their hands. Vikhov's with some amazing hero plays. The captain of the team is going to find the picks towards 2, with Booney still alive and finding that punch down onto Nathan. It's a question of, can he sustain down towards the point? Sleep comes in onto Booney. Vikhov's gets hit, but does not take too much damage. They're sustaining towards the point, but it's still going to be progress in the favor of the Chinchillas. Booney's doing such a great job of just sustaining. They could get to 99 here, even if they don't win the fight, and still have a chance to take it. Booney actually pops the Annihilation, though. I don't think that's going to pay off. It's going to get shut down completely, and the rest of the Inazuma are going to be there to come back. Sly with the overclock as well. They're investing so much into this, even though this isn't going to be the last fight. The Inazuma are going to take the point.
Yeah, we do have a Naga switch off of the Sojourn onto this Mei. But yeah, you'd like to have the overclocked and the Ramatra ult back. They do still have the Blizzard, which could be a big opening here, but the Nano Blade again is built for Vikhov's and Cello Guy. Charbotron does not have this beat yet, so they won't have that beat. They will have this Blizzard, so they could try to just use the Blizzard to lock down this Nano Blade, but it is going to be really tough to push in here. Good thing for the Chinchillas there is they did force 99%. So
this is like so scary for the Chinchillas though,
yeah,
because you have 2 fights here. One fight's gonna be the Nano Blade fight, which is gonna be this fight. No beat to counter it. As they're going in, they're finding multiple shots on the lamp, and this is just a Vikhov clinic right there, as he's gonna find the entire team. And now the Chinchillas, they're on last fight territory. It's going to be the battle of 2 different ults. Mikey with the Blizzard versus ETC with the Coalescence. You got to be expecting both ults if your team has been tracking this entire time. You haven't seen them pop for a while. You got to be expecting how to counter it here.
They should be able to touch here. At least Charbotron should be able to touch the point. It's going to be basically 99-99 here, so it is a little scary for both teams here.
Wait.
They don't touch.
They don't.
Inazuma win that off of C9.
No way.
I
gotta think that
they
that wasn't.
could have touched.
I thought they should have had the touch. I think.
Yeah,
I don't know.
exactly what happened
Maybe
there.
just mistimed speed or just miscounted in some way,
Yeah.
shape, or form.
That's so unfortunate. They were building very close to the beat and the window, so the Chinchillas would have had 3 ults to the Inazuma's 1, I believe, because they just had the Moira ult, yeah. But yeah, with that, we will go into a slight map break here and see if the Chinchillas can kind of recover here. But yeah, we will be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone, to after a very exciting first map, going into Eichenwald here. What did you think about that first map? Like, how do you think that went?
I mean, it felt like you were climbing a mountain, right? I'm gonna go with this analogy right here. We're just good to see it right here. Climbing a mountain, right? And you're going up, you're going up, you're going up. You get to see more and more of the compositions play out. You get to see a couple of swaps come in. You get to see all this excitement. It goes the Inazuma, then the Chinchillas take one, then the Inazuma take one, then Chinchillas take one, and you can see the peak, you can see the top, and then you slip and you fall all the way down as the Chernobyl Chinchillas unfortunately hit the C9 at the last second. At the they're so close. They had the ult advantage, and then it all just like falls apart.
With the rock?
Oh, Sisyphus. Sisyphus's blade.
No, I don't know. There's some mythology guy. I thought it was Sisyphus. It might be.
Oh,
It's
Sisyphus
like
rock.
you're
I'm
pushing
thinking
the-
about
you're
okay.
pushing the rock. Someone in chat help me out. There's a guy that like is pushing a huge boulder up a mountain, and he's like cursed. So every time it gets to the top, the boulder falls over him and rolls down to the bottom.
Yeah, that's a Chernobyl Chinchillas. That's just them.
Who is it? Someone should know.
I think you're right.
I might ask Skyser. That seems like something Skyser would know.
Speaking of Skyser, we got the Skyser Mercy here. Not exactly what I was expecting, but I mean, when you have such a proficient support in Riddle Dog and you want to run Mikey on this Echo, the best way to give him what he needs is going to be this Mercy. We also get to see Purple Jesus going to be in, but he's not going to be on the tank. He's going to be on the DPS, and Naga is going to be switching over to the tank. So we have the Booney versus Naga deal, and looks like Booney's going to get the upper hand with big accretion there to give them an early on advantage.
Yeah, we were just talking about this during the break. Like their best comp of everyone on their main roles is PJ Tank. You have Vikhoffs and ETC DPS, and you have Cello Guy Naga support. But that's over SR, so they have to kind of get creative with some of these. They've been cooking this Naga tank. I think last map they had Paradox on DPS instead of Purple Jesus, and they had Purple Jesus bench, I believe. So this is a slightly different look for them here. So they're still, I guess, trying to figure out a good comp to run to stay under the SR cap here.
Yeah, in Inazuma, really have to find out something that can shut down this Echo, because Mikey already has the duplication online. Looking for good time to use it, and this is going to catch a lot of their team off guard. Vikhoff's Cello Guy. Cello Guy's close to the Nano, but no blade coming into fruition yet. But Vikhoff's does find a really good pick down onto Riddle Dog, and a second one onto Sly. Vikhoff's just dominating the backline, and Booney just down on point, distracted by Naga. Can't really do anything about it. They get a full cleanup before the duplicate can even come into play.
Yeah, the cast coming out kind of helps even though it's not like necessarily getting the value, it's kind of helping control the Echo, I guess. You're forcing Mikey to play a little bit more safe because you have to kind of respect the 6 damage coming out from CJ here. A lot of ults coming out for both sides. I am probably looking for this duplication coming out first, but we do have a lot of ults for both sides coming here, so it could go either way with this castle control coming up. This castle control on Ike is just so important here, so could be very telling for how the rest of this match is going to go based on this upcoming fight here.
Yeah, and the Chinchilla is definitely going to be investing a lot into this positioning. When you have Mikey Skyser with the Echo Mercy, when you have the powerful DPS in Sly, you can really hold down a lot of points around there. Booney's going to go for the Flux. It's going to catch 0. It's so unfortunate there. At this point in time, Naga's actually taking just like a full flank, and he's now going to be on the high ground. He basically pressured everybody off. It's going to be a duplication from Mikey and another ultimate from Sly as well. They're going to use a lot of ults in this fight. They are going to manage to pick it up, but you got to think that 3 ults is not how you wanted to end that, just for a small fight win close to spawn doors.
Yeah, the overclock does build kind of quickly, and a lot of times it doesn't necessarily get a ton of value, especially against the Sigma. So that's probably fine to use on top of another ult. The Sigma, the Flux just kind of missed everything, as Booney would probably say that was intentional. That was like a zoning Flux. But
Of course.
yeah, they won the fight, which is like the main thing. You have this Nano Blade coming out, so you don't really have anything to do against it. So that's gonna be kind of rough here for the Chinchillas. But hopefully, if they play like spread out enough, they can kind of dodge it. But yeah, it's very scary going into Vikhoff's Cello Guy Nano Blade here. Oh,
yeah, and the Valk's going to be used. Oh, amazing accretion by Booney. That's going to at least deny some of the value from the Nano Blade. No picks come out from this Nano Blade, and Mikey's actually going to find the shutdown onto it. ETC now with the Coalescence, doing his best to sustain for the team, but Skyster has an amazing res. Meanwhile, Booney falls down on towards the point. It's just going to be Skyster in charge of healing the entire team on this point here. He's just keeping up Mikey. The point progress is going fairly well for ETC and Naga, as the rest of the team is slowly coming back, and a great anti-nade comes from downtown. Cello Guy hits that one and gets the shutdown onto Mikey, which is gonna spell disaster for the Chinchillas.
Yeah, this is kind of tough because if you even lost Castle here, I thought maybe they'd be able to stabilize the Castle. Skyser falls super low. The Vikhoff, the lamp from Riddle Dog does save him. early. Booney dies early there. The window is forced from Riddle Dog. And it looks like with that, the Inazuma are kind of going to clean up this fight here.
And that's such a good job of forcing out utility on the side of the Inazuma there. I mean, they wasted the window, they wasted the immortality field because they just suffocated that position. They just completely ignored that utility and pushed through it as they kept one on cart. So they're going to get the cap with about 3 minutes on the time bank. This is looking mighty fine for them. They're going to have the high noon, sort of try their best to counter out the duplication. I'm really looking for Mikey to put up a big hero play here. Even now, when he's unpocketed, Skies are making the swap over to the Kiriko.
Oh, Sai gets taken out early there. Booney does have this flux. That could be big here. Oh no, he picks up Purple Jesus with the high noon.
Yeah, I feel like that's not the one you always want to pick up. You don't want to give that guy extra space to cook with, but luckily he doesn't find anything. The duplication from Mikey is going to be shut down, and Purple Jesus taps the head of Mikey as well. The Coalescence and the Nano going to be utilized towards the point too. They're just cleaning it up. The Inazuma really just looking unstoppable at this point in time. All they need to do is clean up Booney, and with a good anti-nade sleep comes in, Purple Jesus is just going to be able to clean that one up. Now it's just going to be touches and seeing what the rest of the Chinchillas can do to sustain this time. With a Vikov's blade, it can be a dry blade, it doesn't really matter. They're going to be able to clean up this point, and Booney can't do anything about it as the Inazuma cap with 2 minutes and 14 seconds.
Yeah, the late Ryan swap kind of makes me think he kind of wants to start going over to the Ryan. Kind of not what you really think of for stall, so I'm wondering if they're going to change something with their comp here. I potentially could see it. But yeah, a big thing there is, well, I guess there were two big things there. One is just the momentum and the aggression from the Inazuma. They were kind of just keeping rolling and just getting early, getting like early picks. And then the other thing is like just them finding those early picks, getting really good angles. Kind of cycles into itself. It's like you're more aggressive, so you get more space to work with and more angles, and then you can turn that space and angles into kills and then get more space and angles off of it. So
yeah, it's just like a snowball effect,
yeah,
kind of.
Snowball. Yeah, they were just kind of snowballed after that. Was that like Castle? So yeah, we'll see if any comp swaps come out. I think the one thing with the Inazuma's comp is it's very like kind of one-dimensional. So I think that the Chinchillas might be able to find some sort of counter comp they can play here that kind of plays around it a little bit better. Because it's a very weird comp coming out from Inazuma. They're making it work to their credit, but when I think about support lines, I usually don't think about Moria Mercy or Moria Ana. And then I also don't think about playing the Genji with the Sigma. So it's a very interesting comp, but they're just trying to play super aggressive here. So I think this could be a very good swap to dive here. Their goal is likely either to try to get away from Vikhoff or to try to just kind of dive on Cello Guy. Because I think if Cello Guy falls here, you could be looking at a really favorable fight for the Chinchillas here.
Yeah, it's all going to be about pressuring out these supports on the side of the Inazuma. If Booney can land some good dives and get some good follow-up, it's going to matter a lot. But Vikhoff seems to really not care what the enemy composition is. He'll dive the backline no matter what. And Booney doing his best to sort of suffocate around that, but doesn't really find much space with that. I think a lot of these players are definitely on picks that are more comfort-based to them. Booney now on to the Winston, which is a bit more favorable than his Sigma from what I know about Booney. But they're still just getting shut down, absolutely annihilated here by Vikhoff, showing off this amazing Genji prowess.
Yeah, again, it's like these early picks, and they're just like running into their spawn basically here. So very clean play here from the Inazuma. I think that they are swapping back to that kind of comp they were running. They do have the Tracer instead of the Sojourn. Never mind, and now they have a Sojourn.
Yeah, and the Sojourn is going to work better into this Ramadra too.
The May
a bit more brawly.
Here, that's pretty much the main swap they had from the defense here, but I think it could actually work out really well.
And this is definitely similar to what they were running on New Junk City, so they definitely have a bit of experience and comfort on this composition as well. They're actually going to try to force Naga Ina in, but Naga has the nano boost, doing a great job of sustaining towards the point. Going to get shut down. ETC a bit late on that Coalescence, but Coalescence is going to still pump some huge damage in towards Booney, take him down to about half HP and really force out pressure towards the point. Meanwhile, Vikhoff's still a danger. gets that pick onto Mikey as well, and this is just continuously sort of spelling disaster for the Chernobyl Chinchillas. I mean, they're on the point now, they're getting a lot of space, and they're managing to find Purple Jesus. Vikov's still gonna be here, but is anybody gonna be able to shut him down when he, ETC are gonna be there? Naga's back now, they got the flux, it's gonna find two, the beat's gonna cancel it out though. So many ults going into this fight, and Vikovs is still holding on to this blade.
Yeah, they did use the nano one off the blade. Mikey gets two. Oh, I see an opening here.
And that's the two supports. Those are the two picks that he needed to find right there. But Purple Jesus shuts down, and Skyster falls as well.
I believe they were teammates on the Newts, so I'm sure this is a kind of a grudge match for them. I know they're really good buddies, so nice to see a little friendly banter there. We do have, again, we still have the blade and we still have the high noon, so it's gonna be so tough to play into this. Already down to a minute and 15 seconds here, so it's gonna be really difficult. They either need to win this fight or the next fight is like over for them basically.
Blade's gonna be invested here early. Mikey did make the swap over to the Genji though, but this blade from Vikhoff's is just gonna hit so much more. Mikey finally finds it though. This is the opening that they need. Vikhoff's now down. It's just gonna be ETC and Naga. Now just ETC on the point, or now just Naga on the point, but eventually gets shut down by Sly. And the DPS for the Chernobyl Chinchillas are gonna come up when it matters most. We'll see if the Inazuma can even go for another contest here, or if they're just gonna give it up.
Yeah, I would probably give it up if I was the Inazuma. They burned off so much time. At this point, with full capping, with 2 minutes left, you're kind of just looking to eat up the time and force an OT cap on defense at least. Again, now we're down to that castle control part of the map here. It's gonna be really difficult to kind of dislodge them here, especially because they're not playing as brawly, so they can just kind of stay up here and poke out. So yeah, it's gonna be tough to break through this. I don't know if the goal is maybe speed through the castle onto the back line, or if it's just kind of play slow for Blade and just try to blade them off high ground here.
Yeah. The Chinchillas really find their best success when, yes, to put it lightly, Cello Guy and ETC are down, but it's so hard to shut you down when you have this Coalescence right in your face, dealing out so much damage, and Purple Jesus is going to be able to find the first pick down towards Riddle Dog. This is going to be a clean fight win the side of the Inazuma, and their cast control is looking absolutely flawless. Mikey's still contesting up towards this castle, but he's not able to do anything.
Oh,
actually is able to find one. Okay, the trade comes in.
Too.
Cello Guy for Mikey, Mikey for Cello Guy. That's gonna be fairly good for the Chernobyl Chinchillas if they want to rush into this next fight.
Yeah, Mikey will get back faster. Again, he has the blade now too, so they can actually use this blade to try to get everyone off high ground.
I like this decision.
Sustain through that somehow. I don't know how they sustain through that, but
now it's just gonna be an all fest on all sides. Mikey's gonna come in with the blade, is gonna find multiple, and Sly also with the overclock as well. I feel like that's another fight where they're just using. I know they're gonna have the other three ults, but it feels like another fight where they're just using like more than they need to.
It doesn't feel as bad either because you got like 3 ults out of the Inazuma, so it's like
that's true.
It's 2 ults for 2 ults is what happened there, so it's not that bad, especially with this Annihilation here. You can kind of use that super aggressively, and they don't really have anything to counter it on the side of the Inazuma.
Yeah, but off the good anti-nade there, looking to pressure back in, but a big sleep from Cello Guy that's going to be able to shut down Booney, but the point progress is already going to be in the favor of the Chinchillas. They should be able to get the full cap as they're just cleaning up towards the point, so another 2 ultimates used. The points is finally going to, just gotta wait for Vikos to die. That's a hard thing to ask for, but finally happens there. Point finally captures over for the Chernobyl Chinchillas, so they're not gonna be able to match the time bank of the Inazuma, but they definitely do have a lot that they can show here.
Yeah, it was like kind of an expensive fight there. Use the window and use the Annihilation. If they are able to build the blade and the Sojourn ult before any ults are built from the Inazuma, that's really good for them. But with this Nano Blade coming up, this beat from Skyster has to be big to shut down this Nano Blade.
Yeah, and here it comes. Beat does come in. I believe that's going to hit everybody. Actually, no, it may have not. The lamp's going to be invested as well, but no matter what, the 2 supports from the Chinchillas are going to fall down, and that's going to spell disaster for the rest of the team. Mikey consistent on finding this 1 pick on towards Cello Guy, which is, I guess, good and bad because it's just going to be 1. But at the same time, it is going to help to gain him a bit more closer to his own blade, which I'm going to be looking out for in this next fight.
If you were to tell me Naga would have played Doomfist, or he would have played a tank, I never would have guessed he played Doomfist. But he is actually making this work. It's a really good comp with the Doomfist here.
And the swap over to the Junkrat. It's just so prolific in these areas. The Lamp's going to be invested and it's going to be completely shut down. Naga doing a great job actually on this Doomfist character, really filling the role in an amazing way and just putting down so much pressure. It's very good for him. I know he's definitely probably didn't come into the season expecting to play tank, but doing a great job overall with it. And Vikov is just there to pack him up, and that's awesome.
Yeah, it works really well with this the support line and with this Genji too. You just play kind of hyper aggressive. The Sigma I guess can work, but it's a little awkward with the rest of the team, and now they're just playing like kind of all in, except for the Junkrat. But we have 4 ults here from the Chinchillas. They finally built their full ult bank. But on the other side, we have Nanoblade and the Junkrat tires. That's gonna be rough going in here for both teams.
Yeah, get ready for everybody to press Q at the exact same time, and it's all going to be about who dies first. All ultimates going into the fray. Got an Annihilation, got a tire. It's going to catch 2. Mikey is going to get shut down with that Booney. Still sustaining with this Annihilation. Gets punched through. They take the space from the window. I don't even know how to cast this. I don't think there is a way to do so. 2v1 towards point. Naga ETC, the last remainers of that ult fest, and they're going to be able to shut it down. No contest on the side of the Chinchillas. And the Inazuma are going to take Eigenwald.
I was like, who do I spectate here? Because they had like Blade Annihilation, and on the other side the Tire, the Doomfist ult came out. Very like chaotic fight, but yeah. Again, this was a very close picked game going into this, but the Inazuma are up 2-0, and they're starting to look like they're kind of getting a lot cleaner here, especially with that Eichenwald. How kind of clean that attack was there. So we'll see if they can kind of keep up this momentum here, because they seem like they're fully in control of momentum here. We will go into another short map break here. Stay tuned. We will be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone. Going into next map, which is Samoa. We have a couple of comp changes here. We were just talking about during the break. We do see the Inazuma going back to that map 1 comp. We see PJ coming back on a tank. We see Naga going back on DPS. We see kind of a big swap. I don't know if we've actually really seen very much of this, but we do have Spicer on the tank. We see Charbotron also comes into support, which makes sense. I don't know if it's a playtime thing or what, but Skycer going over to the tank. I remember playing on the mice with him. We played, I believe it was against the Roseville Raiders 2. Skycer came in for 1 map. I think it was 1 map the entire season and played Junker Queen here. I think it was in the big Junker Queen meta, but Skycer, no one really talks about his tank, but he has a really good Junker Queen. That's exactly what they run here. Very, honestly, with their comp, it's very good. a lot of their players are kind of on their comfort picks. We have Charmatron on the Lucio, which she's kind of known for, is used on the Sojourn, and then Mike on Genji. But you see PJ, he's showing right now Doomfist, but they have the same Moira on a backline here, which again, I've been saying this, it's kind of weird, but they've been making it work with just how aggressive they're playing. I think this comp coming out from the player could be really big for them. Kind of looking to go after Cello Guy.
This comp definitely showing a lot of promise. Skyster, a 3.6 tank. Technically, it is his best role, so we'll see how he's able to perform against the Purple Jesus tank as PJ, ETC, and Vikhov's all jumping in towards this back line, trying to find as much presence as they can. It's actually going to be Mikey who finds the first pick. They actually go for the smaller group there, and they're going to clean them up as two different separate areas. ETC is going to only find the pick towards Mikey, going to be able to get out with his life. But actually, is he going to be able to get out with his life? Oh, does manage to get the quick dash out there, and fight's going to be a reset.
What the Sentinels want to do is, I think they're doing this to try to kind of punish Cello Guy, because they know Cello Guy is going to play on us. So if they're able to get a good spoon and a good shout onto the backline, kill Cello Guy, they only have the Moira heals from him, etc. So it's a very opening pick to be looking, very good opening pick to be looking for. We'll see if they can keep that up now that Cello Guy's going to probably differ his playstyle a little bit.
Yeah, they're actually gonna have now go over onto the Mei instead. This is gonna do a bit to just really deny the space that Skyster's gonna take, but Skyster just shuts him down there. Cello Guy finds a pick, but eventually gets traded out by Sly. Sly goes down as well, so very scrappy fight. PJ doing his best to sustain towards the point, and the Coalescence is gonna help keep him up on this point, but it's gonna be sort of canceled out by the Kitsune Rush. Vikhov's comes back at just the right time though, and he's the person you need in these situations, finding a ton of pressure onto the backline, gets the pick towards Charbatron. Riddle Dog holding on by a sliver of HP, but Mikey's back now. We're gonna see the duel of the Genjis yet again, both of them sustaining towards the point. Meteor Strike now from Purple Jesus is gonna catch Skyster. That's gonna be the tank for the Chinchillas, now down. Vikhov's with the dash onto Riddle Dog, does catch him as well. They're finally going to be able to flip the point, only giving 70% for the Chinchillas. That's going to be a good place to sort of be, especially when you have such big ultimates like the Nano Blade and the Blizzard coming up.
Yeah, we have the Nano Blade and Blizzard are both very tough. Charbatron does have this beat, but you can really only beat one of those two ults. Again, 70% is like actually really good for the Chinchillas, so they only need to win 2 more fights here.
Blade's gonna be coming out from Mikey though, but Vikhov's with amazing shutdown. That's the pick that they needed to find. Skyster goes in with that Rampage, is gonna find Vikhov's, and now both Genjis down, taken out of the fight. Sly falls as well. No DPS now left on towards the point. Charbatron doing his best to sustain with Skyster. That's gonna be against Cello Guy and Purple Jesus, but Cello Guy is such a big target in this fight. He does manage to find the sleep onto Skyster though, and now ETC is back to give some support to his fellow support in that nature, and finally Skyster is gonna fall towards the point. Purple Jesus allowed to sustain, and this is gonna give them the advantage here with the Nano Blade coming up with another Doomfist ultimate on the line too.
Yeah, they did get the Blizzard out for, they still have the beat, but at the same time, like, it's the Nano Blade is just so hard to survive through.
The Blade now gonna come out. Nano Blade from Vikhov's has been very prolific throughout these matches. This time, it's not gonna be found. Canceled out by Charbatron's beat. So now it's gonna be a battle of who can find what. Purple Jesus comes in with a big slam onto Skyster there. And now he's just cleaning up the point. That's gonna likely spell disaster for the Chinchillas on the first map of Samoa.
Okay, give me 1 second. I turned streamer mode on and I'm getting trolled by 7-7. There we go. Now we're back on. Okay, so yeah, the Blade ended up being really big there. Now we're last fight here. It's really scrappy. Looks like it's in favor of the Inazuma. Etc. gets Riddle Dog with the Coalescence there. Does get 2.
Yeah, and Ceteris has been massive with these Coalescences throughout. Skyster's touch ball finally gonna be shut down as well. Sly can't touch either, and just a dash in. Hero play from Mikey, seeing if he can find anything, but it's not gonna fall into fruition. So the Inazuma not only bordering match point, but also bordering potential victory on Samoa.
Yeah, if they
we
win,
need turning your mic up, by the way,
did,
is
I
with
did.
the okay, cool. W.
Yeah. Also, Paige, it is not everyone is literally just 7-7. Homie has been trolling me for 2 seasons in Aurora. I think the Chinchillas had a very good idea going for that. It just, the problem is once you lose that, it's so hard because Cello Guy's just gonna play so far back, and you either have to get like perfect rushes onto Cello Guy, or you're gonna have to basically just survive through a Doomfist Genji, which is tough to do. Going into a neutral fight here is going to be a lot easier for them to kind of look to kind of catch out Cello Guy. But again, Cello Guy is starting to adjust to this really well. Is just playing a lot further back, playing a lot safer, and managing to survive through this the Junker King rush here.
Yeah, Cello Guy, it's all going to be on his survival, but he's been doing such a good job at that so far. Sly's actually going to be the first one to find the pick, though, onto ECC, so leaving it all up to Cello Guy, who's actually getting dove out by Mikey. See who finds the pick here. Cello Guy actually going to get the sleep onto Mikey and the shutdown, so an amazing play by him. Riddle Dog with a follow-up, though, and meanwhile, picks are being found on the other side of the point as well. Now it's just going to be Purple Jesus left standing towards this point. ETC finally gets back, but it's not going to be in time to save his tank or the hopes of the Inazuma on a cap. The Chernobyl Chinchillas are going to start out with the point in their favor, but we know that the Inazuma is so good at retaking on this Doomfist composition.
Yeah, like, it's going to be tough into the Doomfist, but the goal of the Chinchillas is basically make a kill box, and if Cello Guy walks through that, just run him down. They'd had a really good idea there of having Mikey just kind of swap to solo dive Cello Guy, so they don't have to run on it as much, but they do get Etc. there. They force the fade out and just punish him. Now they get Cello Guy.
I mean, this is why you don't run the Moira and Ana.
Yeah.
You can't really protect your backline once the fade is used, once the sleep is used. You don't really have anything to sustain. If Skyster can keep pressuring in, if Mikey can keep dashing in, not only much you can do that. So now you see Naga actually making the switch over to a bit more defensive side of his comps. You can use the Maid to really zone out with that wall, and Blizzard probably one of the most favorable ults if he has the time to build it, though. Purple Jesus looking towards this point, trying to disrupt the support line of the Chinchillas now, but they're just so much more flexible with that Kiriko, with that Lucio. The ability to speed out is there, but Vikovs is going to be able to find the first pick, going through a big rampage on the side of Skyster. Is going to find, basically attribute himself to most of the picks there with an amazing anti-effect on everybody.
Yeah, it looked like they were starting to kind of get value there for the Inazuma, and then Skyster just hits, like, I think it was a 3-man rampage. So really, well, they did use the Kitsune rush there, so that's kind of rough, but they still have a lot of tools here to win this fight. Nanoblade's not up yet, but they might build it before the match is, or the map is over. Oh, they get Naga.
The bomb's actually going to catch Naga, and Mikey's still just like tormenting this backline of Cello and ETC. Can't really do much in this situation, but they still managed to find the Nano Blade. The Coalescence is used as well. This is going to be basically everything for the Inazuma. They are banking it all in this fight because they have to at this situation. Mikey just the last one on towards this point. They are going to manage to find him, but with all the ultimates used, you got to ask yourself, how long can the Inazuma sustain on this point?
Well, I mean, this is kind of what happened the last point, too, is that they had a very expensive fight to kind of get the point, but then once you have that point, you have such a big advantage just being able to control when you go in. So now it's the Chinchilla's job to kind of walk in. It's going to be a lot harder. Sly uses the overclock.
This overclock usually so good at finding picks, but it's actually going to be Skyster the first one to find one, and Mikey with the other shutdown. That's going to be the support's gone. Block has been forced out as well. Lots of the Doomfist utility used. It's going to find Riddle Dog, but it's going to result in a shutdown there. The entire team of the Inazuma is going to explode. No touch in sight, and this is going to go the distance on Samoa.
Yeah, potentially we could be seeing a reverse sweep in the game and in the map. A little bit too early to say that for the Chinchillas, but they looked a lot better there. Again, it's like just so hard when you're defending or when you're attacking to try to get this Junker Queen comp to work when Cello Guy's playing that far back. But now it's the Chinchillas that are getting the really early picks, getting a lot of picks onto Etc. in the neutral fights, and yeah, they have a win con and they're looking for it and they're executing it a lot better now. So.
They won't even know what happened.
Going into Volcano, you gotta think this is just gonna be so good for just the Chernobyl Chinchillas here. It's such close range. You can really line up a big rampage. You can hit a big pulse bomb, and you can just play around these really sharp angles. So we'll have to see. Purple Juice is adamant about staying on this Doomfist, but he's really only been able to find the pick on Real Dog. He's not shut down Charbadron towards the point yet, and that's spelled disaster. If they can't trade out both support lines, they're gonna lose the fight after losing their back line.
That Cello guy's had enough, so he's on this Kiriko now, but...
Actually, we'll see if that change is gonna make the big difference, though. Vikhov's with good pick onto Mikey, but they find what they need. They find both supports on the side of the Inazuma, so now a 3v3 fight towards point. Supports are gonna fall on the side of the Chinchillas as well. It's just gonna be Real Dogs standing on the point. Is he gonna be able to win this 1v1 though? Hits the TP out. It's just gonna be Mikey who's coming back. They're gonna be able to win this point a bit more. Vikhov's finally back now, has the orb in his favor as well. Seems like both teams decided, okay, let's just take a quick reset. Let's all just go back to our spawn and now go in for the second fight. Skies is going to be the first one to find the pick in this fight, though, onto ETC. And Cello Guy dropping insanely low. Vikhov's falling as well. They're going to get, the Chinchillas are going to get back first, and they're going to be able to clean this up.
Yeah, Mikey came back just in time. Riddle Dog got his, and then was just like, got out, so Mikey could kind of take over. Just getting that presence and preventing Vikhov's from being able to go in there really set up the fight, because the Skycer's able to come back, get point prio, and then get a lot of value off that. And now, with the control of the point, it's going to look really good for this JQ comp here.
Yeah, and Purple G is doing his best to really isolate the team. A good wall comes in to deny a lot of the space, but Mikey's just still finding these early picks onto ETC. It seems like they found the weakness, the kryptonite for the Inazuma. It's going to be that support line that they can so easily target and look for picks onto. Got some good cleanup here, and might even find another pick. No, they're just going to force out a bit of utility and abilities from the Inazuma there.
Yeah, the swap on Akiri actually makes a lot of sense to try to kind of prevent being dove on, but the problem is now you have so many very key abilities, and if the Chinchillas are able to kind of see that you use those abilities, they can really go hard in the paint and punish it here.
Yeah. Now multiple abilities coming in. The Meteor Strike is actually going to land directly onto Charbotron, and the Blade's going to catch Real Dog as well. So this fight finally going into the favor. ETC did opt to use his Coalescence too. That might be a bit of ultimate overuse there, but it is going to secure them the point. Limit the Chernobyl Chinchillas to only 71%, and that is the point when they turned it in the first map of Samoa, so we'll have to see if they can do it again. A heroic comeback for the Inazuma here.
Yeah, Naga with this blue is going to be really hard to push in here, but again, a lot of ults here from the Chinchillas, so they could just look for these here.
Oh, and a 3-man rampage. It's going to get cleansed out by Cello Guy, though. That's another advantage. The Blizzard's going to be invested towards the point, but it's actually not going to catch out anybody. It's only going to be a zoning ultimate, and Mikey just finds the backline again. The two members of the Inazuma are falling down, and Mikey even has this pulse bomb. Isn't going to even have to use it on this fight either. They're just cleaning up house. Vikhov's falls as well, and this is last fight territory. Only 33% for the side of the Inazuma.
Yeah, that was really expensive for the Chinchillas there. They do still have the pulse bomb. Other than that, really, no team has anything. We do see the swap onto the Junker Queen and the swap onto the Reaper. I don't like Junker Queen in general without the Lucio. So we'll see if it's able to get value, but it's going to be so hard to kind of close the distance here. Mikey is definitely looking for this pulse here. If Mikey can get a big pulse, that might be it for the map here.
Yeah, just waiting, biding his time. He has his target. Naga switch over onto Reaper will do a bit better at just forcing that out, but no ultimates used just yet. A lot of sustain towards the point. 99% on the side of the Chernobyl Chinchillas. They're doing their best to shut things down, and Cello Guy's actually gonna be the first one to find the shutdown. That's Mikey down. That's huge for the team, and now the Inazuma are able to collapse down. Just Sly and Riddle left on the point, standing for whatever they can, but eventually they're gonna fall out. And the Inazuma managed to take the control.
I don't hate that either for the Chinchillas, because they didn't even use the pulse there, so they did lose the fight, but with all these comp swaps coming out for the Inazuma, they're still not quite close to a lot of these ults. The Chinchillas might be able to identify that and kind of punish it with, again, only 40%, so they should be able to get at least 2 more fights here.
The HGC has built up that Coalescence, though. The rush is going to come first, though. Coalescence into that as well. Seeing exactly what either team can find. It looks like it's just going to be kited out, sustained through. Mikey's still been holding on to this pulse bomb, but it's going to be Skycer who acts first with the rampage straight through point. Purple Jesus is going to answer back with one of his own. All the members of the Inazuma dropping insanely low. That's going to be the time for Vikhov's to go in, maybe try to strike, but doesn't find anything. Now the Inazuma exploding down towards the point. It's just going to be Naga left in a 4v1 situation, tries to go for a Hero Blossom, but doesn't find anything. There's gonna be no touch in sight for Inazuma as the Chernobyl Chinchillas pick up their first map.
I think that no, that's they won a map last series. I think last.
Oh, yeah, not that.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about that. I was like, is it? But I think they won a lap mass series, and if I'm not mistaken, it was also on Control. So maybe they're just gonna be the Koth Warlords. Let me double check that real quick.
They look so much better on this map. I mean, the skies are tank diff, I guess.
Yeah.
Who would have? I wouldn't have guessed. I don't know. You were kind of hinting at it, Panini, but I was not guessing.
Yeah. We did see. They did win a map last series. They did win on Ilios, so maybe they are the Koth Warlords. So far they're 2 for 2 on their Koth map. So we'll see if they can kind of keep up this momentum. I wonder. I am unsure if they're gonna just continue with this this Junker Queen, because it does look a lot better. Especially even if you're just forcing Cello Guy off of the Ana onto the Kiriko, you're taking away the Nanoblade. So even if it's not like necessarily getting kills, it's still like preventing the big win condition for the Inazuma. So we'll see like if the Inazuma make any swaps, we'll see if the Chinchillas kind of stick with their same game plan they're going here. Looks like we do have a series on our hands, folks, but we are going to go to a short map break here. We will be back shortly.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a series on our hands. The Chernobyl Chinchillas managed to take Samoa from the Inga Inazuma, bringing themselves up to 1-2 on the series. So Inga Inazuma still looking to close it out here on the next map pick of Dorado. So I have to see it, and it looks like, from what we can see here, Panini, they're gonna be sticking to the exact same comp on either side that they ran last time. Skyster's still in the tank, Purple Jesus is still in the tank. What are your thoughts on this?
We were just kind of talking about this. The Junker Queen, I think, is a very good look for them, but the problem with Junker Queen is it did not work on every map. Going into Escort, there's like no good Escort map for Junker Queen. Like Rialto, I think, is okay, but Dorado is so hard to play this Junker Queen into. I guess Skyster could swap to something else, but yeah, we see like a really good comp coming out for the Inazuma for dive here. We see the Winston, Genji, Ana. Skyster shows Monkey. I don't think I've seen Skyster play Monkey, but if he's able to pull out a good Monkey, this could be really good for them.
This is also the defensive Monkey pick, too, from Skyster. So it could just be like a comfort thing, but he's now made enough noise outside the spawn where they know Skyster's on Monkey.
Yeah.
Like, they're gonna show it. They have
he can't swap now,
they have Naga on the Reaper to sort of counter that out. I think that's much better than Sly and Mikey on the Echo and Sojourn, at least in a direct counter to the Winston.
The Chinchillas have to play like super fast here. That's their like main goal. But if the Reaper's able to get value in these long extended fights, but if they go really fast, they might be able to get a lot of value on this Echo Sojourn here, especially with the Mercy Pocket.
Yeah, but almost everybody on the side of the Inga and Inazuma have a way to get up onto this high ground, so they can be putting down a lot of pressure. Right now, what the Chinchillas are doing is they're trying to oscillate between these high grounds, find themselves safe space, but throughout that, they don't really have any opportunity to contest the cart. Obviously, you have Skyster going down, going onto the back line, but the Inazuma are just able to dive backwards on him, sort of collapse down in, and then send their entire team up towards this high ground. Purple Jesus takes the space. Vikos is right there with him, and they finally shut down on Charvatron. That's going to be 2 picks already against the Chernobyl Chinchillas, and a lot of progress on the side of the Inazuma.
Yeah, it's exactly like I was saying, is the Inazuma win these long fights, and the Chinchillas were kind of trying to play around high ground, like play a little slow, soft dive, and that just plays into the like Reaper Moira strengths here, so they do touch. Skyster's able to get on point here, but this is going to be tough for him to stay here.
Yeah, and Skyster is just literally burning on point. I mean, there's so much pressure onto him. The backline of the Inazuma is just so prolific at staying alive, and they don't have Mikey really diving with. Even with the duplication on the side of Mikey, gets the Blossom as well, but is going to be forced off the point by the Primal Rage of Purple Jesus. Skyster's back touching on the ball. I'm not sure what play that is, especially now that the point has been fully captured. We'll see if he actually is going to stick on the ball or look to swap off.
Oh, I thought he was going to go off the map there, so he might actually be staying this. Again, I'm not sure exactly what Skyster's tank pool is outside of the Junker Queen, so maybe he is able to play this ball here, but we'll see. Yeah, expensive fight coming out there for the Chills. They use the Katsuna Rush and the duplicate, and just kind of get forced off the point anyways, so that's really rough. Another thing I just realized, since they are running this Mercy, they have the Nano Blade and really no answer for it.
Yeah, but they do find the pick down onto Cello Guy. Mikey does get traded back out, though. It's still been constant point progress on the side of the Inazuma. Multiple ultimates being used out. It's going to be Sly facing down ETC. Both ultimates in play. ETC is going to get the better of Sly in that fight. And Skyster is still alive on towards the point, but with the Reaper on the point, you can't just sit in front of those shotguns. You have to sort of wait for your team to be there, wait till you have the pressure that you need. A lot of swaps coming in from the side of the Chinchillas, though. Mikey's now going to be on this Tracer and Sly on the Ash.
Yeah, the Nano Blade's coming up very soon. With the Mercy, you kind of have to play like a pocketed hit scan. I think that works a lot better than the Echo. And then you have Mikey on this Tracer, which I know he's very good at.
Well, the Blossom is actually going to find Riddle Dog. Naga gets traded back out too. Purple Jesus just controlling the space around point. Charvatron finally loses that Valkyrie form. And finally the Mines are going to be able to get a pick down lane. Charvatron with the res onto Riddle Dog is going to keep them alive and sustained. And Vikov's now playing for his life. Isn't going to be able to find it though, as Skyster with a sneaky So the pressure through the back line is finding two. Okay, this
I
is
gotta
now
say,
picking up some momentum.
Guys are getting value on the ball here. I was like skeptical of it at first, but like he's actually making it work pretty well. But now we're at like this really tough situation where you have the Nano Blade. Oh, Mikey gets Naga here. A lot of like ways to get away from the Nano Blade, but they don't really have a lot of sustain, especially for this Ashe Mercy here. So Vikos might be able to just kind of go hard after the Mercy Pocket here and see if he can get value off that.
And Purple Jesus is looking to dive it as well, but not really much help for Purple Jesus towards the point. It's just going to be ETC getting checkpoint past bridge. But Chernobyl Chinchilla is able to hold on to this high ground position. The Nano Blade is going to come into fruition. Bob also utilized towards the point. Vikos is going to find two, looking for the third. TP out from Riddle Dog does keep him alive though. And Vikos finally gets that find towards the point. Bob did a good job of stalling out temporarily on the point, but I believe this is going to be a full cap for the Inazuma, despite that.
In terms of ults, like that's a good trade as a Nano Blade for the Bob, but yeah, it's tough to play into the Nano Blade. The Colt comes out super early. I don't know exactly what this is looking for, but maybe it's showing that Etc. wants to swap here, maybe?
I'd be surprised if ETC wants to swap though. I mean, he's been been more jail the entire time, basically. I mean, that's just how it is. But definitely an early coalescence. Definitely costly though. ETC gets traded out, but Mikey gets picked as well. So trades on either side. Mine's gonna be invested on Vikos and Cello Guy, but it's not gonna really zone anything out. There's still some space for them to play through. Charbatron with that Valkyrie into Purple Jesus with the Primal Rage. Still a lot of pressure down onto Skyser, but no kills just yet. A good bubble from Purple Jesus is gonna be able to zone out most of the team. Valkyrie finally ends. Cello Guy with a pick onto Mikey. That's a great clapback from Cello. Shut down his counterpart. And Skyster is just looking to sustain on this high ground, but Vikos is just eating it all up and finding picks through all that.
Yeah, the res comes out. It's really hard to kind of push this off high ground. The Nano Blade comes out again.
Oh, and they're building that so quickly. Vikos is an absolute demon on the back line right now and putting in so much work. Mikey is not. He's going to be able to find one pick, but Skyster's finally going back onto Vikos. Still a very awkward fight. Purple Jesus just left to sustain towards the point, but now both the supports are going to be back for the Inazuma. Same with the entire team of the Chinchillas, though.
It's such a weird comp they're running. They have the Torb now with a dive comp is very interesting. Third point Dorado is like one of I would say it probably is the hardest final point to defend. The spawns are just so close for the defenders and so far away for the attackers. So even if you get like an early pick on Mikey, he's on Tracer and he's gonna be in the fight like 30 seconds. So tough to push.
And Mikey finally built up that pulse bomb. Has a lot of targets he wants to go for. Lots of potential here as Sly gets the first pick onto Naga. Coalescence is going to be invested despite that though, as Purple Jesus still looking to torment the backline, but he's getting suffocated down as well too. They're targeting Charvatron, seeing exactly what pressure they can get on, and Vikos finally finds that kill down onto Charb. And now they're going to be abusing the spawn of the Chinchillas. They jump back out, but still a lot of ults coming in for the Chinchillas very shortly.
Pick on the Riddle Dog is really rough, but the pulse on the PJ gets a really big kill, and again with these spawns, it's going to be so fast for Riddle to get back and so slow for PJ to get back. Naga goes onto the Sombra. Bob is used for Zeus.
And Skyser still trying to sustain throughout this, doing a great job of it. Gets the pick onto ETC, that's the one that they need. And then Inazuma are going to fall apart with 20 seconds left here. If you're Naga, you got to get out. He's not going to be able to. Purple Jesus is now on the ball, does manage to get out. They will have the touch now that he's on the ball, and two ultimates coming in. I'm looking at this Nano Blade combo from Vikos and Cello Guy here to really seal this deal.
Yeah, the Valk is going to be kind of good to get away from this Nano, but again, Zeus really only has this the coach gun for this Ashe here. Early Valk used.
They're expecting the Nano Blade to come into fruition, and there it comes onto the back line. Zeus, first target, gets shut down. Charbatron does manage to get away though, and supports are going to be able to sustain. Finally, it's going to be that rush from Riddle Dog, and he actually finds the pick onto Cello Guy. That's going to be a massive shutdown now. Riddle Dog in the back line as Vikos still in the opposite back line. They're looking to fight against each other, looking to get trades out, but it's going to be the supports of the Inazuma that fall down. This is going in the favor of the Chernobyl Chinchillas after a good pulse from Mikey seals the deal there. So a lot of progress for the Inazuma, but they do not get the full cap, which opens up the door for the Chinchillas.
Yeah, that looks really good for the Chinchillas, especially after how the first couple fights went. You got that early fight loss, and then I think the very next fight was that kind of scramble to stay on the point, and then yeah, kind of messy at the very end of the first point there. But I want to say it was like 5 minutes going into second, so them able to the Chinchillas able to kind of burn that off is very good for them. I think they made a lot of good swaps there. I think Skycer on the ball actually worked really well. He's able to just kind of sustain, and then also at the same time, him and Mikey are just able to put a ton of pressure on a cello guy. I think they're probably gonna stick with this. You see, there's no way this is real. We have the dive with Naga on the Bastion. There's no way. He's rolling out.
Naga's just playing like, remember the random jimmies? It feels like he's just like doing that, but like rolling the dice like every time he goes down. Like it's just what swap can work. Let's see. Let's go Torbjorn. Let's go Sombra. Let's switch it over to the Bastion. You know, just try everything. Why not?
What we've seen from Naga on DPS there is like, I think specifically the Hanzo. I know he really likes the Hanzo. He doesn't play a lot of dive characters. So I think he's kind of like in between, like, should I play like a character that works really good with my team, or should I play a character that I'm very comfortable on? So like we saw him on the Torb and the Bastion here. We also saw him on the Sombra. I don't know if he plays a lot of the Sombra, but I'm assuming that was him just trying to swap to help out the team. Yeah, it's kind of rough because I don't know exactly what I would play in his position either. We'll see how the Bastion works here, because it might just be put a lot of pressure on the ball from Skycer here.
Yeah. Skycer is going to be able to force out that form cooldown though fairly well. As long as Naga's able to hold onto this high ground, this first corner is going to look fairly formidable though. But it's Skycer and Mikey's job to really pressure out this backline, make sure that their team can't stay alive. And Mikey does manage to find the first pick, but unfortunately Skycer's going to fall too. That's going to really curb the momentum for the Chernobyl Chinchillas, because still nothing's going to put pressure down onto this Bastion.
Yeah, Mikey gets taken down too, which is really rough. Etc. does have a really long walk back from spawn, and we do have the ball and the Tracer are the only two that died there, so they should be able to get back pretty quickly. If they're able to kind of see this form go off, Bastion is really easy to dive once he doesn't have the form. PJ falls really low, but they do manage to stabilize there.
And Cello Guy's just been absolutely prolific with just finding these anti-nades onto Skycer. This is just so good at shutting down the momentum of this ball. They do manage to push this point almost underneath bridge, and that'll be a spot where they can really operate well, because it'll force the Inazuma to reposition. Almost reposition forced out there by Skycer, as he's just tormenting this high ground, but hasn't really found anything just yet. But Mikey has gotten the point through. Let's see, is anybody even going to go in back to contest them? Purple Jesus is going to find the support line and find the back line with the Primal Rage. They're going to clean this up fully. They do get a lot of point progress.
I see kind of what the Bastion's goal is, because like we kind of saw this on Samoa. Naga just keeping Cello Guy alive to able to sustain through the dive. You kind of have like two separate teams. You have keep Cello Guy alive, and then you have everyone else just kind of go in. So we see like Vikhoffs and PJ going in really hard on the backline, and then we see Naga just kind of stabilizing Cello.
Yeah, and they're just like trading backlines a bit better right now. And this is the perfect way to take out a backline. Nano Blade comes through, Double Dash comes in, Charbitron Sly, that dynamic duo of the season, unfortunately shut down, and Bob effectively kind of wasted on towards the point, as that's not where they should be fighting over. The rush from Riddle Dog is going to be invested as well. Mine's on the outside of the point too. Purple Jesus is just going to ignore them, jump straight in, force out some cooldowns. Riddle Dog still sitting near this backline. Skycer trying to fight over the point, but ETC now has that coalescence, is going to have so much pressure coming on into him. Nobody's really found out Riddle Dog's position though. He's still allowed to help out Skycer here as he drops astronomically low. Now the Mercy ultimate used, trying to keep the rest of the team up. Mikey is going to find two. That's going to be the picks that they need. That's the two diving players of the Inazuma finally shut down.
Yeah, and like with this Bastion, I think that first point is like really where he's strong. Once you kind of force the Bastion out, there's really no good place for him to stand. Well, the pulse comes off, but with the new Bastion buff, he doesn't die to pulse anymore. Zeus does eventually end up finding him, but yeah, good first point take. 3 minutes going into second point, it's not too bad either.
And they keep finding staggers too. Onto Vikovs is going to be an absolutely astronomical one as well. Sly moving over to the Echo, obviously providing a lot of pressure. And now that there's no Bastion that they're looking into, since Naga made the swap off, even though he had his ultimate in that situation, it's so hard to find value here. Skester does get slept on up towards the point, but just holding out for now, putting down the pressure towards the backline, and the Chinchillas are just getting so much progress here.
The Echo swap, I think, is really good, because that's another person that can just kind of get away from the Nano Blade faster.
And, like, nobody can really pressure it, though. Purple Jesus problems the problem of Rage, but still, it's no pressure onto this Echo. Nobody is really contesting it. Finally, the Mercy gets shut down. Finally, Purple Jesus gets that pick on the back of a lot of utility use. Riddledog gets hit with an anti, but manages to get out of that situation. And Chinchillas, even after that ultimate, it seems like the Primal Rage just went in, got a pick, and then now it's sort of not really doing that much as Vikovs and Purple Jesus both shut down. This Skyser ball is just looking so good right now.
Yeah, that's another one. Like, Naga Doomfist and Skyser Ball, I never would have predicted, but they're both working, like, actually really well. We do have the Nano Blade again, but now with the Echo Swap, like, I don't know exactly who he goes after. Maybe the Mercy? But yeah, it's going to be hard for him to get value, because it's hard to kind of run down someone who has a movement ability to get away from you. Yeah,
so many ults here too from the Chinchillas. They can really invest whatever they want. The Nano Blade is gonna come in, but with the rush on the point, it's so hard to really track down players. Vikovs finds Charvatron, but Mikey finds 2 in that time though, and Sly now with that duplication onto Vikovs is gonna get canceled out. Is gonna get shut down by Cello Guy, but during that time, the point's been fully captured. Sketch is already making progress onto it, and Mikey just fighting over this back room. Vikovs, can you even get out of this situation? I don't think you can. Trying to look for a trade back onto Mikey, but Mikey's just getting the upper hand in these fights now.
Yeah, PJ under the Doomfist, I think that's a good swap. We do have Sly going back to the Sojourn, and it's a lot harder to play the Echo in these kind of closer quarter rooms. I think that was really good. The Vikovs had a really good play to bait a dash onto the carry to kind of force the ultimate, or force the resources out, and then able to get kills off of that. Yeah, 2 minutes left, and I think the Chinchillas only need to win one more fight to be able to kind of control this last point here.
And the mine's on towards the back line. It's going to zone out, make it so this coalescence from ETC, it can't really pass through for a while, and it allows the Chernobyl Chinchillas to be so flexible with the way they're playing. One of the mines actually catches out Nagaina there, but Charvatron gets shut down as well. So now 4v4 towards the point. Sly does find a pick, and you have Mikey still holding onto this pulse bomb as Vikovs gets the trade back on. Mikey finds Cello Guy. That's the pick he needs. He throws down the pulse bomb, does not find anything on the point, but Skyser is finding stuff, finding value on this point. Vikovs needs to make an amazing hero play, but is not going to touch during that point.
No way.
I don't know if that's a full C9 there, but I think they had multiple.
They could have at least stalled it long enough to get the spawns back, but man, what a resounding answer. Skyser on the ball is getting so much value here. Right when I was saying, like, oh, Junker Queen's not very good here, Skyser just kind of shows up. So we are now looking at a potentially unlikely scenario here. I don't want to say it, but going into a map 5 here, we have a certified banger on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Before we go into the next map here, we are going to take another short break, but stay with us. It will be 100%. Next map will be the last map of the series, so very exciting stuff here. Stay with us, ladies and gents.
Welcome back, everybody, and if you're just tuning in with us, you're coming in at the exact right time. The Inga Inazuma went up 2 at the start of the match, and then the Chernobyl Chinchillas, they found their hero, they found their player, they found Skycer on the tank, who has brought them back to match. They won Samoa, they won the last map, and now they're going to Esperanza to see what they can do. They're keeping in this same composition with Skycer on tank, while the Inazuma are keeping Purple Jesus on tank. So we got to see how this matchup is going to go, and if the Chernobyl Chinchillas can complete the reverse sweep against the Inazuma.
Yeah, they've looked a lot better here. A lot of their fights are very clean here. Now we're going to Esperanza, which is very... I don't know if I said this in the broadcast, but I think a lot of the push maps are very good to play Jungler Queen on. So I could see them either going back to the Jungler Queen or going to the ball, which actually worked out really well for them. So, yeah, it's looking really good for the Chinchillas, but at the same time, especially at the beginning, the Inazuma showed that they could play at a very high level, so could go either way here. Preds are... looks like they're very accurate with showing a very even matchup today. This 100% is a bait. The Jungler Queen Torb Junkrat here is interesting. PJ showing the Jungler Queen, again, I think is very good on push here, but without the Lucio, it's just so hard to kind of take that space there. And yeah, we see this, I expected this, Mikey onto the Tracer, Sly onto this, the Sojourn. Again, this is a lot of their players on their comfort picks. So this looks like a really good comp here and a really good map for the Chinchillas here. But yeah, now we have Naga on this Mei is kind of like the big... that Mei and then the Lucio are the big difference between this team. So Naga has to get some big walls, get some big freezes here, and I think this could go either way here. Very hype.
Yeah, very, very close between both these teams. I mean, we saw even with Skycer on the JQ, it's not definitely something that the Inazuma can't take over. As multiple picks come in, it's actually going to be the Chinchillas who are falling down early. The Inazuma taking a lot of point presence as they shut down Skycer, they shut down Charbitron. They're able to really fight for this control with the Genji being so flexible. Mikey wasn't able to find out any execution onto the backline, which means that the backline's still able to heal of ETC and Cello Guy. So it's very, very close between both these teams.
That was a really good play on the first point for the Suzu from Cello Guy to kind of negate the axe. Skycer lost all of his self-heal, so this, not only did it prevent the damage, it prevented the heal coming out.
And Vikov still on this backline doing monumental against finding these picks. Just managed to force out Real Dog, find the pick onto Sly as well. Multiple trades are coming in. Mikey and Riddle still left on the point. Riddle with a clinical headshot. It's going to matter a lot. And Mikey actually finds that pulse down onto Purple Jesus. This is now going to be a winnable fight. Naga and Vikov trying to sustain towards point.
Mikey with 3, possibly 4. Mikey gets 4.
4.
Vikov
going for it.
He gets it.
And now the rest of the team is back, but I'd still consider this Mikey as if he finds this kill here, but luckily the supports from the Inazuma are going to be back. They are going to find some sort of sustain, but Skycer and Mikey are going to be speeding into this. They've realized that supports have already used a bit of their cooldowns, but ETC shuts down Mikey. That's the exact pick they need. Charbitron falls as well. Are they going to be able to get onto the point before the Chinchillas do too much damage? Yes, they are. Vikov's with this big touch, and a Rampage is going to come in from Skycer. That's going to find 2. Instantly, it's going to be cleansed out. And Vikov's ETC, Purple Jesus, are going to be cleaning up this point and finding their way back into it.
Yeah, I'd probably want that back if I was Skycer. It looked really big, but the problem was that was too late in the fight, so I think they'd already lost the fight at that point. But you did get the Cole and the Rampage out from PJ and etc. So potentially could be going into a really good fight here with this Pulse again and the Overclock, but Blizzard and Mayult and Kitsune Rush are going to be really tough to push into here.
And this is such a good zoning Blizzard. It splits off really the diving side of one team and the other side. And Vikos uses the blade, going to be going straight into the backline, seeing if he can find really anything. Does manage to shut down Mikey and Sly. So now that the DPSs are gone, Riddle forced out as well. Chinchillas don't really have anything to sustain here. Skycer is so far back, and he actually managed to just like steal the bot for a bit, but
yeah, I think I was just they actually might be able to regroup before the checkpoint comes out here, potentially. Yeah, you did get the Blade and the Blizzard out, which is actually really good there from the Chinchillas, but again, this Kitsune Rush is still online. It's going to be really hard to push into this, especially when you have a Junker Queen just kind of getting infinite cooldown on the just running on your backline here. Sly with this overclock has got to be big here.
Yes, Sly and Mikey with a pulse bomb, but Cello Guy actually hits the headshot onto Mikey, shuts him down there. Sly now looking for some headshots of his own, but Vikovs is going to be eating right into that with the deflect to deny a lot of the value that could have been found from Sly. And they're fighting over the point, but it's a numbers advantage for the Chernobyl Chinchillas. Charvatron going to be coming in with that beat. It's going to give them a lot of the sustain that they need, but is it going to win out the fight? Now Mikey's back. Now Skyster's found the pick. And it is actually going to give them enough sustain on this point.
That was such a good fight for the Chinchillas there. They did use 2 ults. They used like they used 3 ults actually. The beat was really good to just give them the sustain here. But getting the rampage out was really good there. Vikovs does find Sly, but I don't think that will be enough for them to able to kind of take it back here. Looks like they get Cello Guy. That's a really big pick here. Sly does go onto this Genji. Really interesting. I think that actually is going to work out really well for them. With PJ using the Rampage and no Lucio on the side of the Inazuma here, this is going to be a pretty free Rampage here. If he opts to use this early and it's as big as this last Rampage, it could be very, very impactful here. Especially now that Mikey still has the pulse here. And Mikey, we know we can do anything with this pulse.
There's no beat to counter out this Blade, though. A Rampage comes in and does hit Vikovs, and a lot of the members of the Inazuma, with a picks in the favor of the Inazuma at the moment. Skyster's in no man's land right now. Doesn't really have much help when Mikey comes in at the last second. Gets a very crucial pick. The DPS and tank of the Chinchillas doing a great job of staying alive. Sly's finally found out, though. Because now it's just Vikovs and ETC dancing around the point. They have Naga, too. For all this sustain, Mikey trying to put on all the pressure, tries to stick the pulse, but doesn't actually find it there. Skyster's now back, though. Tribertron's there for sustain, too. So is Riddle. And it's going to be a big freeze on the point. That just eats down Skyster's HP. Really forces out the tank from the Chernobyl Chinchillas to back up. And that's going to have big implications as I think Inazuma might be able to hit the checkpoint on this push.
Yeah, it was like still really close. It looked like the Chinchilla were able to kind of get a fight win there, but barely slipped out of their hands there. Tribertron is going to have this beat. They could use that either aggressively or just kind of for sustain in this fight. Cello Guy does have this Kitsune Rush. Hopefully Real Dog can build one of his own. But with this checkpoint and with the lead, it's going to be a big advantage. And with Sly going down early, huge advantage here for the Inazuma.
Sly obviously going all over to the Genji, looking to duel against Vikovs, but Vikovs just been so prolific, though. So good at shutting down all the presence, and Chernobyl Chinchillas really having to back up. They're fighting from a different angle at this point. Now Sly over onto the Soldier. We'll see if it works out better as both Kitsune Rushes utilized onto the point, speeding into each other. Both teams looking to find whatever space they can take. Tribertron still holding on to the speed. Mikey has the pulse as well. Skyster drops low, but isn't going to be able to be found. And Tribertron actually is found out by Vikovs there. ETC with the shutdown onto Skyster too. Pulse bomb. It's a hero pulse, but it's gonna get Suzu'd out. That's gonna be massive. I don't know if the Suzu actually saved everything there.
Yeah, it did.
As Mikey finds one, but it's not gonna be enough.
Yeah, and then the spot just keeps going, and already with an advantage and with the checkpoint. Looks like the Inazuma are just set to keep rolling. 3 minutes are left though, so anything could happen. But with this Blade and with this Rampage, Tribertron's gotta have a big beat to keep the Chinchillas in it here.
Yeah, and you can sort of just use one ult, bait out the beat, and then use the rest in a row. But with Mikey finding ETC, that's going to deny the presence of the Coalescence. Tribertron beats right into Vikovs, a dangerous beat, but manages to find it, catches the rest of the team exactly when it matters most. PJ, Cello Guy still sustaining towards the back of the point. Vikovs finally picked out by Mikey, and Sly also finds Cello Guy as well. They're going to be able to clean up. Mikey unfortunately falls, but I think this is actually going to be worse for Naga because he's sort of left in no man's land, has to wait to regroup with the team. These guys are trying to speed in and catch him off guard, but
be able to get out.
Yeah. Lots of mutual investment. Naga's actually, they're going to trade ultimates here. And the Suzu's actually going to be there. It's going to be able to carry Naga for long enough. That's a great Blizzard from Naga and a great Coalescence from ETC. Massive hero plays from both, using both those ultimates and also baiting out a couple on the side of the Chinchillas. That's not even bad in terms of the ultimates. They managed to really catch Skyster and the rest of the Chernobyl Chinchillas off guard.
Yeah, I would say Blizzard for Rampage is a pretty even trade, but yeah, the spawns were just coming back. I don't know if they accounted for that, but they started to use resources to go in to try to punish Naga and just got ran into because all the Inazuma had their own resources. TJ has this Rampage, gets Sai, but it does get Suzu'd. So actually really good for the Chills there.
Oh, and the Slicer is just going in, getting so much damage. Purple Jesus just managed to find it, and Naga with an amazing headshot as well. It seems like it's so disconnected right now. Purple Jesus is on the point, trying to sustain as best he can. Naga's there as well, but both those supports are here from the Chernobyl Chinchillas. You better bet that they are able to sustain through this. A good wall to sort of buy some time. Vikov's putting down a bit of pressure. You know that if you're Skyster, you don't want to overextend. This pick on Naga is going to be so good to stagger. And if they get to the checkpoint in time, Naga's going to be stuck with a forest spawn and a long road back. This could be the Chernobyl Chinchilla's opportunity, and it sort of has to be as we're entering this last fight territory.
Naga got close spawn, but it honestly might not matter. There's already so much control of the map over by the Chinchillas. It does look like they're kind of opting to back up here and just kind of play for this kind of checkpoint fight here. There's kind of a tight choke.
And Vikov's is just so disconnected right now. He is 1 HP on the backline, has really no impact on this fight right now. As Purple Jesus falls, ETC falls, Vikov's isn't really able to do much. The Blizzard and Genji's ultimate is online, but they aren't going to be able to use any of it this fight as they're just going to get picked off and shut down. So now, the Chernobyl Chinchillas, they've made big comebacks before. Naga stalling out this point is going to get forced out of block and shut down. So now they're going to be the push that they need. They need to win all these fights, and you only have Rampage and maybe a beat to do it against the Blizzard, against the Blade. This is when all the odds are against you. We got to see if the reverse sweep is going to come through for the Chernobyl Chinchillas, or the Inazuma can shut it down. They get the close spawn, which is going to be good for them. Yeah, this all is lining up to Skyster.
I would assume that Riddle has to save Suzu for this Rampage, because other than that, you're not going to have the beat to kill both ults, you know? I'm assuming that the Blade is going to be used first here from the Inazuma.
It's actually going to be a freeze on the point. Mikey shuts it down. The beat's going to be there as well. Skyster's the only one who gets frozen up, but it gets Suzu'd out. So now the entire team of the Chernobyl Chinchillas fighting as a prolific group. And Mikey finds ETC as well, doing so much damage to the backline, putting down so much pressure. Skyster finds Purple Jesus. Inazuma really have to reset on this fight. Multiple ultimates used, but they're bordering on a couple more. It's going to be a battle to see who actually takes this, and nobody wants to give this up yet.
I'm going to call it right now. The biggest ult this fight is going to be the Coalescence from Etc. He's been getting so much value with this Coalescence. The beat is used, but we still have the Suzu from Riddle Dog to kind of try to prevent this Rampage, but the Blade is also going to be really rough to play into here.
Oh, and this was a big one. Catches two players, but get Suzu'd out. ETC putting down so much pressure. The Blade comes in too. All the ults used from the Inazuma. It is going to be enough. Vikos finds three, and they're going to clean it up. The Inazuma take it in one of the closest matches we've had. I think probably the closest this season of Aurora.
At least to this season, if not recently. Yeah, the Inazuma just able to hold on to the ultimates knowing they had pushed the bot so far. And then just able to kind of use all their ultimates at once. Very good try there from the Chinchillas. They played really well, made a lot of really good adjustments there, but unfortunately, like one fight too little to win the map there.
And that was impressive on all sides. I wish we'd like take the time to compliment every single player on either team, because I mean, the Inazuma, they started strong, they knew what they're gonna do, and then the Chernobyl Chinchillas pulled out this composition from left field. It ended up working. I'm not sure if they've even scrimmed that composition before, but Skyster and the rest of the team managed to make it work up until the final moments when they needed it most.
Yeah,
I mean, GG's all around so close.
Like a couple of like small mistakes is like literally the difference between these two teams. A 3-2 fight with like the very last fight being on the Esperanza there ended up being the difference maker. Yeah, very good match, very good teams here. So would you like to pick an MVP here, a match MVP?
Alright, I have two people in between on this, and I'm not sure really who to go for on this decision here, because like when you saw fights win, it was always Vikov in the back line, just dealing
Yeah.
so much damage, and he's obviously done a great job forming this team, leading this team. His blades were massive, his dashes were massive, everything seemed to be going right for him there. But then I'm going to give a bit of a surprising shout out. I think ETC,
I know.
he's a 3.4 support, technically the lowest on his team, but he's playing this Moira, something that should not be working at all,
Yeah.
but managing to make it work, hitting these massive coals. Sometimes the coalescence on his side was bigger than the blade on Vikov's side. So I don't know between those two.
I think Etc. is a very good shout, but I would rather have the match interview with not only the guy that had the 3K blade to win his team the entire series, but also the captain of this team. I'd like to ask him a couple questions about the team. So I would probably say Vikov, just because you have him having these big pop-off moments. Also, as the captain who built this team is very big for him. But I agree that Etc. is like a very good what's the word?
I mean,
Honorable
I'd
mention,
call him
honorable
like
mention.
yeah.
Yeah, his calls were very big. It's one of those things with supports too, is they get like they do a lot of work, but Vikovs was just able to get like all these huge plays, even getting big blades after they swap off of the Ana to the Kiriko. Very good from both of those players, but I would probably personally say Vikovs. I don't know about you.
All right, well, we shall go with Vikovs. We get to interview the team captain of the Inga Inazuma. I'm not sure where that interview is taking place. I trust that somebody can
I'll take
drag
care of
somebody.
it.
Okay, cool.
Give
Thank
me
you.
a second.
It's all on Panini. I believe in Panini. If it fails, we blame Panini.
Yeah, it takes me a while, but I'll get it. I'll get it. Don't worry. Oh, I cannot drag him, a man. So,
Oh, man.
I'll DM him. I can't even. Well, you know what I can do? I can.
Yeah, but I gotta give a shout out to the entire team of
Yeah, they all played very
Inga
good.
and Inazuma. They all did amazing. This probably wasn't the day they're expecting to have. Probably wasn't the comp they were expecting to run either. Obviously, having to start out a bit of the maps with the ringer did work out in their favor.
I'm very curious if they knew that they were gonna do that. Let's see. Okay, I figured it out here. Here, actually, give me 1 second. We're gonna take a little break from the stream real quick while we organize this, but we'll be back shortly.
Stay tuned.
Okay, we are back. Surprising thing here. We asked Vikovs if he wanted to be interviewed. He gave his spot up so we could interview ETC here. So welcome.
W choice.
Congratulations on the match MVP, etc.
Thank you.
So what are your thoughts?
I just want to say this is like definitely not like, oh, you're like interviewed as a secondary. We were highly considering you as just
like,
the general
yeah,
MVP in the first place. So yeah, this is definitely well deserved, and you did amazing. Just gotta say that off the start.
So going into this map, I don't know what you guys were expecting, but like, what's your vibe here after like a super close, super hype match, able to sneak it out with that big blade at the end? How are you guys like reacting to that in your team?
I think we're all mostly just relieved. We knew going in that everything was going to be kind of scuffed, and we were just kind of hoping for the best. So this was exciting.
I know you guys have had like issues with your like SR. Like there's certain comps you can't run because you'd be over SR. How have you guys been kind of like adjusting to the SR cap, finding all these like different comps that are able to stay under the SR cap but still able to like play really well together?
I don't know. It's been interesting. I've just been begging to play Moira all season because I think that solves most of our problems.
Really?
And
I was gonna ask you about that because I think you exclusively played Moira today.
I did.
And that was planned by you. That wasn't just like, oh, you're on support, you have to play Moira.
No, I'm sure it was much to the disappointment of my entire team that I was playing Moira, but that it is all I wish to play.
So, do you ever consider switching off Moira when you're on support? There's one point in time where you use the Coalescence and we're like, oh, this is a late Coal, it gets value, and we're like, oh, was this just a switch? And then obviously you don't switch, you stay on Moira throughout all 5 maps. What is it about Moira, and were you ever going to switch off it?
No, I had no interest in swapping. I am a Widow player, so the exact opposite of that is Moira. She's so fun, you have 4 options.
Yeah,
and it's great. So I just play Moira, and she's fun, and everything I've ever wanted in Overwatch.
So, like, there were some comps you were playing, too, that were very weird. I would expect you to say the opposite of Moira, or opposite of Widow's the Lucio, as you have so much movement, you have, like, so much potential to be, like, super annoying.
Playing Lucio is a crime against humanity.
Okay,
It should
so
be
that's
removed
like,
from the game.
That's, like, a personal preference from you.
Yes.
Okay. I was wondering, because, like, the Junker Queen comp, and you were running Moira, was it Moira Kiriko and Moira Ana? I was like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
Were you
I do not believe in Lucio.
Like, were you expecting this game to be as close as it was?
I did not expect to win with me playing Moira.
Really?
So, no, we did great. I had a lot of fun, and I think vibes were good. They dipped for a bit when Mikey turned on his monitor.
True.
And then, yeah.
How are you
it was
guys
good and...
able to recover from, after such a, like, I'm assuming you guys were all really hype after the second map win. How are you guys able to recover after they brought it back to tie up the series?
I think we just kind of kept going and hoped for the best. It was, I don't know, just chill vibes the whole time.
Were
It
you
was the key to success.
How scared of you when you saw Skycer swap onto the ball?
Was I scared?
Yeah.
Not particularly.
I would have been quaking in my boots.
That does subscribe to the theory of ways to win Overwatch, which are blue characters and round characters. Ball is a round character, so that makes him good at the game.
Did you say blue characters?
Yes, blue characters and round characters are the key to winning Overwatch.
Who's blue?
I have an infographic somewhere,
wait,
but
there's no way.
anything with shields, Echo, May is blue, Widow is blue, Ana is blue, Soldier's blue.
Interesting.
Stuff like
I've
that.
never heard this theory in my
Round
life.
heroes. I'm developing it. It's round or
it's a
blue
work in
characters.
progress.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
I'll find that infographic and send it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna trust your infinite. I'm using Big Hoff's term, infinite IQ in chat, because you are definitely much smarter than me at all the information stuff and all the statistics stuff. So when Mikey made that switch over on to the Tracer more prevalently, and then you also had to deal with the Junker Queen and the ball pressure on the back line, how did you and Cello guys sort of adapt to that as a support line who is experiencing a lot of pressure?
To be honest, I just kept banging my head against a wall and hoped that Mikey would get tired at some point and other people would start making mistakes. And then we lost 2 games. So
2 maps.
Yeah, 2 maps. So I adapted poorly. I think Jello guy swapped to Kiri and that seemed to go a little better.
That's another thing I noticed is that the Kiri swap ended up being very, very good against the Mikey Tracer. So I think you guys made some good adjustments there. I don't know if I have any other questions, Ward.
I got one more. What can we expect for the future of just ETC? Are we expecting you on Moira throughout? Are we expecting the Widow to come back potentially?
It depends on what the team needs. Seeing as we can't really run me on DPS, I'm probably just going to play Moira, because I don't mauled, even if we lose, if I play Moira. And yeah, but I'd like to play Widow at some point, but I'm kind of washed and would need to actually play the video game ever.
I'm trying to remember. I don't have your exact spreadsheet pulled up, but I think you can play Widow if you have... I think... Oh, PJ has to be benched, I think is the conundrum there, is you'd have to bench PJ.
That sounds right, and that's not a good trade.
I know, yeah. No offense to your Widow, but I would rather have PJ in than PJ out.
Yes, no, I agree. The numbers are unkind this season.
Yeah. And you're super close too. I think you're over only like 40 SR over the cap. So
Yeah, it was like 10 or something.
yeah. Something like
It
that.
is 20 SR over the cap.
Yeah.
I'm
20?
looking at it
Okay.
right now. Yep.
That's
Unlucky.
pretty grim.
Okay, I think I am done with my good questions. So now we have to go to the El Clasico. I guess El Clasico is also a good question. But if you were not match MVP, who would you give it to on your team and why?
Vic, because he was absolutely farming last game.
Yeah.
And then also just everyone else for putting up with my Moira.
Everyone on the
Which is
team
the-
wins El Clasico.
Yep. But
Oh.
yeah, specifically Vic, he was doing absolutely insane on the last game.
Yeah,
Great.
you and him both played very well. Oh, everyone on your team played very well, but like
Yeah, they did.
Vic stood out, like especially that last point or the last fight with the 3K blade, no nano, hype.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So I think that just about does it. Congratulations
Alright.
on the win, etc. Thank you for joining
Thank
us for
you.
the interview.
Yep, thanks for
Roar, do
having
you have
me.
anything left?
I'm all good on my end of things.
I believe we are done with week 2 now. Our next match likely will be next weekend. Right now we have it. Oh, it's actually Wednesday, December 20th at 7 p.m. The Los Gatos versus the New Zealand Numbies. Should be a very interesting game there. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Happy holidays, everyone, and we will see you next time.